And now for my conservative reflection. Breakups are never easy, and so it is with this one as well. I never wanted it to come to this, and as a matter of fact, things were supposed to get easier, but I've lost faith in our goals, which used to be aligned. We spent 13 years together, and after college, I moved back to the area to be with you because we had a great thing going. But you, public education, have proven time and time again that we just aren't on the same page anymore. Where do I start? Well, for one, schools used to be controlled almost entirely by the local people. Throughout the last century, that relationship has devolved into more and more federal control, to the point now that educational matters are mandated instead of voted on. Let's agree that the #1 priority of our educational system is the children. Well, statistics here in the United States are showing a decline in the proficiency of reading, writing, mathematics, and science. We as a country spend double what other countries do per pupil and consistently rank lower. Our relationship is ranked at 27th in the world. 27th! A curriculum based largely on the ideas of bureaucrats called Common Core is treating our children like guinea pigs. When it comes to math, Common Core values the process rather than the solution. Students are given credit for right and wrong answers if they use Common Core. What happened to us? We had a good thing going. I'd give you the right answer and you'd stand by my side. We were always taught that children learn by seeing, hearing, reasoning, and actively participating, but Common Core replaces that mentality by demanding it be the only way. Parents are so lost, there are actually classes for them to learn Common Core. I don't have a problem trying to work with you, but we can't make our relationship better if you refuse to speak my language. If kids aren't wrapped up enough being confused about Common Core, surely they are just studying for the next state standardized test that has become routine method for schools to prove where they stand in comparison with other schools. Why are you testing our love? This takes us to teachers, fantastic individuals that dedicated their lives to the betterment of their communities. Yet with standardized tests around every corner, they end up spending more time teaching to a useless test and less time dedicated to the studies they need to teach. Teachers are quitting the profession all over the country. Why? Because you want them to be more machine than human, regurgitating information like a Google search result. I thought you loved us for our ability to analyze and create, not repeat and imitate. These situations would be alleviated if it weren't for the districts being held hostage and blackmailed by the state and federal government under threats of losing funding if we don't use this mandated garbage. Why are you selling out our love? Maybe the schools are left with little choice, but then the system also leaves parents with little choice. We should be able to pick the school that best fits the needs of our children. Schools that don't try to undermine the morals and values we instill into our children at every possible turn. Yet, to send our kids to these schools, we have to pay tuition on top of taxes we pay for the local public school our children aren't even attending. This means we end up paying for 2 educations when our kids are only receiving 1. Meanwhile, public education system doesn't understand that they need to do a better job of competing to teach our children. Let's not forget that the system hurts the community as well. Property taxes are raised on everyone, including those without children in the schools and those living on retirement fixed incomes, every time a school budget is increased. Let's fix this by eliminating property taxes and instead raising the sales tax by 2%, allocating that as educational vouchers for each of the state's students and allowing families to pick the school that best fits their child's needs. Let's talk about zero tolerance policies. News stories across the country have shown kids being suspended or expelled for eating a Pop-Tart into the shape of an L, a pointing of a finger, and a 3-inch G.I. Joe gun as second-degree firearm offenses. We used to have schools that taught firearm safety classes, and now, in a post-Columbine world, we are afraid to have armed security guards on school campuses, opting to instead put up gun-free zone signs in hopes it deters criminal behavior. So in the end, I send my kid off to school to complete a lot of stressful testing, learn complicated methodologies under frustrated teachers that desperately want to teach freely and creatively in a potentially unsafe environment protected by mere signs. Then I end up paying for these things that I disagree with out of fear that there might be a walkout which will require me to stay home from my job to babysit. A job that not only pays for my family, but is also allocated through taxes to the district to pay for all of this. When people break up, the line is usually, it's not you, it's me. But if we're being really honest here, it is you. You are failing the people of this country. The more you take control from the local districts and place it into the hands of unelected bureaucrats, the worse it's going to get. I'm the Generation Y conservative. Have a great night, and God bless America.